Hello again, I'm Telva and welcome back to Telva's Toolbox for Surface Pattern Designers. Every episode in this series so far has been about studying a brand so that you can pitch to them or understand at least the market they represent. Today's episode is different in the best possible way. Big brands don't pick colors by accident. But Rifle Paper Company is not a brand you pitch to. It is a brand you learn from. Because what Anna Bond built from a wedding invitation business in 2009 is a masterclass on what happens when a surface pattern designer's color identity becomes so strong, so consistent, and so emotionally resonant that the brands start coming to her. Let's learn how she did it. In this video, we are studying Rifle Paper Company from a different angle than every other brand in this series. This is not about licensing to them, it is about learning from them, specifically learning what it looks like when a surface pattern designer builds a color identity so distinctive and so commercially coherent that Pottery Barn, Keds, L'Occitane, Loloi, the company store, and dozens more have sought her out. That trajectory is available to you. Understanding how Rifle Paper Company's color strategy created it is some of the most practically useful analysis in this entire series. Grab the free download. This week it is a design brand identity audit, the worksheet that helps you assess whether your color and style identity is strong enough to attract the brand you want. See the link in the description. This is the commercial picture, flipped upside down. Every other brand in this video series licenses designs into their collections. Rifle Paper Company licenses their designs outwards to partner brands. They are not a licensing target for you. They are a licensing engine for you to study and learn from. Here's what that looks like in practice. Pottery Barn Keds for children's home furnishings. The company store for luxury bedding, which was the first collaboration in that retailer's 110-year history. L'Occitane for cosmetic packaging, cotton and steel for textiles, Tattly for temporary tattoos. And crucially, Anthropologie called them 2 weeks after their website launched in 2009. Anna Bond turned them down because they were not ready. 2 weeks in, the question this episode asks is not how do you pitch to Rifle Paper Company. The question is, what did Anna Bond build that made Anthropologie call her? And how do you build that for yourself? Here's Rifle Paper Company's core identity for color. Anna Bond paints everything in gouache, an opaque watercolor medium that has a specific irreproducible quality. That medium is inseparable from the color strategy. Here's how to read it. Temperature, warm, dominant throughout. Rifle Paper Company lives in the world of warm pinks, peachy corals, dusty roses, warm greens, soft golds, and creamy whites. Their cool tones, occasional blues, soft lavenders, are almost warmed by the context around them. Saturation, medium. Not high, like some of the people we've looked at, not as muted as West Elm. Rifle Paper Company occupies a romantic middle ground where colors are present and beautiful without being assertive. Everything is gentle enough to feel approachable and refined enough to feel special. Contrast, low to medium. Rifle Paper Company's palettes harmonize rather than contrast. This is not a graphic, high-contrast design language. It is a layered, romantic, detail-rich one. Mood is romantic, handcrafted, feminine, literary, vintage-inflected. These are the colors that belong in a garden, a letter, a beautifully wrapped gift. That mood is so consistent and so clearly communicated that it has become a brand identity recognized by millions of loyal customers. Let's take a look at our first case study, Garden Party in Rose. This is one of Rifle Paper Company's most beloved prints, and it puts every element of their color philosophy on full display at once. The ground is a warm ivory, not white, not cream, something between the two that reads as soft and welcoming. From there, the palette builds through pinks across three distinct values: a pale blush that is nearly white, a mild dusty rose that carries the most visual weight, and a deeper warm coral pink in the ranunculus and anemone forms. The foliage runs in two families: forest green in the larger leaves and stems, warm olive gold in the smaller rounded leaves and berry clusters. The dark accent is a deep burgundy plum appearing in flower centers and berry clusters. Scattered ivory white blooms provide breathing space throughout. Now, notice what is not in this palette. There is no blue. There is no purple. No gray. Not one cool tone anywhere. Every single color, including the greens, has warmth in it. The forest green leans warm. The olive gold is emphatically warm. Even the ivory ground has a slight pink warmth. Anna Bond has constructed a palette that spans the full range from light to dark, from saturated to restrained, without ever leaving the warm side of the color wheel. What's working? The palette achieves enormous visual richness through tonal range and illustration complexity rather than through color variety. Count the actual hues: pink, green, gold, burgundy, ivory. 5. The sense of abundance comes from value variation within those hues and from the layered detail of the illustration itself. The color is doing exactly what Rifle Paper Company always asks of it: setting the mood, supporting the artwork, and staying completely out of competition with the illustration. The strategic choice: this palette works on stationery, bedding, wallpaper, shoes, and cosmetics packaging without modification because the mood is so clearly and consistently communicated. That is not a coincidence. That is 15 years of disciplined color identity. Now let's take a look at case study number 2, Mistletoe in White Metallic. It's a holiday classics collection. Same designer, completely different color register, and still unmistakably Rifle Paper Company. The ground here is a pale, icy white with a very slight, cool cast, almost blue. The coolest ground in the entire Rifle Paper Company's palette range. The foliage is a rich, dark forest green in two values, rendered with visible brushstroke texture that carries Anne Bond's hand in every leaf. The berries are a warm, saturated amber gold. Metallic in this colorway, which is the single point of warmth in an otherwise cool and spare palette. The stems are near black green. This is the entire palette: white, 3 greens, and a gold. 5 colors total. Compare this to Garden Party in Rose. That palette had 5 hues, 3 pink values, warm ivory ground, abundant visual complexity. This palette has 4 hues, a cool ground, and radical graphic restraint. They are almost opposites in their approach, and yet both are immediately recognizable as Rifle Paper Company. What stayed the same between the two? Anna Bond's hand, visible in the brushwork on every leaf. The medium quality that gouache produces. That flat, velvety color that is irreproducible digitally. The sense of something made rather than generated. And the complete commitment to whatever palette she chose. The gold here is not hedging. It is fully saturated, fully present, fully intentional. What changed? Everything else. Ground temperature, color count, saturation strategy, compositional density, seasonal register. The lesson we learn: a design identity is not a palette. It is a way of making decisions. Anna Bond can move from the warm abundance of Garden Party to the cool restraint of Mistletoe, and both feel like her because the handwriting is the same, even when the words are completely different. That is what you are building when you develop a genuine color and design identity, not a set of colors you always use, but a consistent way of seeing and deciding that comes through in whatever colors you choose. Here are 3 main principles that you can take from this video. Principle 1, medium is a color decision. Anna Bond chose gouache because it produces a specific quality of color that cannot be replicated digitally. That medium choice is a color decision. It gave her a visual signature that no amount of digital brushwork could duplicate. Ask yourself, does your working medium contribute to the color quality of your work, or is it a neutral tool? Principle 2, mood coherence creates brand loyalty. Rifle Paper Company's customers are among the most loyal in the design world because the brand delivers the same emotional experience consistently. Romantic, beautiful, handcrafted, warm. Every product, every season, every collaboration. That consistency is not repetitive. It is trustworthy. Customers come back because they know exactly what they are getting. Principle 3, a strong identity attracts rather than chases. Anthropologie called 2 weeks after the website launched. Pottery Barn sought them out for Children's Home. The company store chose them for their first ever collaboration in 110 years. This is what happens when a design identity is clear enough, consistent enough, and emotionally resonant enough that the right brands recognize their customer in your work. You do not have to chase every licensing target. Build the identity strongly enough and the right target will find you. What Rifle Paper Company built is what we need to understand. Understanding the business trajectory matters as much as the color analysis. Anna Bond and Nathan Bond launched Rifle Paper Company in November 2009, initially selling illustrated greeting cards and stationery. Within 2 weeks, Anthropologie called. The brand grew rapidly through wholesale, then through collaborations, then through brand licensing outward as their customer base became large enough and loyal enough to justify manufacturer partnerships. They repositioned from a paper goods brand to a lifestyle brand without ever abandoning the aesthetic that made the original paper goods distinctive. The color strategy remained constant throughout every category expansion. The same warm palette, the same romantic mood, the same gouache quality translated to shoes, rugs, bedding, wallpaper, cosmetics packaging, and textiles. That translation was effortless because the identity was clear. For surface pattern designers, you do not need to launch a lifestyle brand to apply this lesson. You need to build an identity clear enough that when a brand looks at your work, they immediately understand who your customer is and why that customer is also their customer. Let's learn about applying the Rifle Paper Company lessons to your brand. Step 1. Define your medium's contribution. What does your working medium, whether it's digital, gouache, ink, collage, linocut, contribute to the quality of your color work that another medium could not replicate? If you cannot answer that, your medium may be a default rather than a decision. Step 2. Write your mood in one sentence with full specificity. Rifle Paper Company's is romantic, handcrafted, warm, literary, feminine. Not pretty, not floral. Specific enough that a buyer at Pottery Barn could read it and know immediately whether their customer would respond. Write yours at the same level of specificity. Step 3. Test your mood consistency. Pull your last 12 months of work and ask, Does every single piece deliver the same emotional experience? If a new customer landed on any single piece, would they know what the rest of the portfolio feels like? If the answer is sometimes, you have an identity consistency problem that's probably worth solving before you pitch anywhere else. Step 4, identify the brands whose customer already loves your work. Rifle Paper Company did not pitch to Pottery Barn. Pottery Barn recognized that Rifle Paper Company's customer was their customer and that they were the same person. Which brands do customers already love what you do? And those would be your targets. And here is Rifle Paper Company's collaboration model. The Rifle Paper Company collaboration model is worth studying as a commercial structure. They license their existing print library and Anna Bond's design style outward to partner brands who want to reach their deeply loyal customer base. Each collaboration is category specific and exclusive within that category. Pottery Barn Kids gets children's home. Loloi gets rugs. Keds gets canvas footwear. The partner brings manufacturing expertise and retail distribution. Rifle Paper Company brings the design identity and the customer relationship. This is the clearest example in this entire video series of what it means to build a design brand rather than just a portfolio of your best designs. A portfolio gets you a one-time licensing deal. A design brand with a loyal customer base gets you a category-by-category licensing program where brands pay for access to your audience as much as your artwork. That is fundamentally different and significantly more valuable commercial position. You build towards it by doing the same things Anna Bond did. Develop a specific identity, maintain it with discipline, grow an audience that trusts it, and let the consistency do the commercial work. Here are two models, two strategies. There are two ways to operate as a surface pattern designer in the licensing market. Model 1 is the portfolio model. Develop a strong body of work, pitch it to brands, negotiate individual licensing deals, repeat. This is the more common entry point, and it is a completely viable commercial strategy. Model 2 is the brand model. Develop a design identity so clear and consistent that it becomes recognizable. Build an audience that is loyal to that identity and license outward to brands who want access to your customers. Rifle Paper Company operates in Model 2. Most of the brands we have studied in this series, Anthropologie, West Elm, Liberty London, are Model 1 targets, where you pitch your portfolio and they select what fits. The important thing to understand is that both models require the same foundation, a clear, consistent, emotionally coherent color and design identity. The difference is what you do with that identity once you have built it. Whatever stage you are at, building the identity is always the right move. Other designer brands worth studying in this space are Cath Kidston, which is coming up in one of my videos really soon, who is UK-based, similar romantic and illustrated aesthetic, genuine licensing program with accessible entry points. Strong candidate for surface pattern designers whose work is in this territory. Barry J. Ackerman, an example of a surface pattern designer who has successfully built a recognizable brand identity and licensed outwards to multiple product categories. A more accessible version of the Rifle Paper Company trajectory for SPDs to study. Gingerbread, Stacy Bloomfield, a friend of mine, another surface pattern designer who built a distinctive illustrated identity and parlayed it into licensing across categories. Oh Joy, designer Joy Cho, built a distinctive, joyful, color-forward brand identity and licensed it to Target and others. A direct parallel to Rifle Paper Company's model. These designers are not just aesthetic inspirations. They are business models. Study how they built their identities, how they communicated them, and how they attracted their collaborators. Let's recap. What Rifle Paper Company teaches surface pattern designers is medium is a color decision, not a neutral tool. Mood coherence creates the loyalty that makes licensing possible. A strong enough identity attracts the right brands rather than requiring you to chase every opportunity. And the goal is not to build a portfolio, it is to build a design brand. Your action steps. Download the free Design Brand Identity Audit. It walks you through assessing whether your color and style identity is strong enough to attract the brand you want, and what to develop if it is not. Write your mood statement with full specificity. Not pretty, not floral. The same level of precision that Rifle Paper Company delivers with every product they make. Pull your last 12 months of work and assess mood consistency. Would a new customer understand your identity from any single piece of work? Identify 3 brands whose customer already loves your work. Those are your most strategic licensing targets. And ask yourself honestly, are you building a portfolio or a brand? Both are valid, but they require different strategies. Know which one you're working on next. And that's the end of this video. If you are thinking differently about your own design identity after this, whether it is clear enough, consistent enough, specific enough to attract rather than just impress, subscribe to the video series, and then grab the free Design Brand Identity Audit. Join my exclusive newsletter for surface pattern designers, where I share more strategic marketing insights straight from Telva's toolbox. Next time, we are breaking down Urban Outfitters' color strategy. And after all this romance and warmth, UO is about to remind us that cool, eclectic, and deliberately imperfect is a commercial strategy too. I'll see you then. Take care.